try that again. All right, today's review is on the Makita EA4300F. This guy right here. This is a blue case saw. It's a little bit older, like 2 or 3 years. The later model ones are orange. All these saws were built by Dolmar for Makita, so there is a corresponding Dolmar product, which I don't know that Dolmar is actually still producing saws. I think they're all underneath the Makita nameplate now. At any rate, bought it for about $400 out the door. It's a 42cc saw. Haven't done any modifications to the saw itself other than putting the steel bar and chain on. Now this is narrow kerf, so it's a narrow kerf chain. Typically it would come with the 050 3/8, which I despise on this saw. It's not a huge powerhouse, so that chain really slows it down. The faster you can get rid of that stuff, the better. This is the narrow kerf. It cuts a lot faster, and although this is safety chain, it doesn't struggle to plunge cut. Now I'm doing a lot of carving with this saw, so this is kind of a medium class saw. I'll start with a larger one a lot of times, not all the time, and then I quickly step down to this. And I usually finish the carving with this too. I don't really use dime tips or anything like that. That's a pretty small radius bar. I can get in there. I know a lot of people comment on why is your chain so loose? It's so that the tip runs cooler. For carving, you don't have problems of like brush. You really don't have problems of the log pinching you. So running the chain loose for carving purposes is the way to go. All right, so if you're gonna put one of these steel bar and chains on there and you go into the steel shop, then the thing to remember is that when you're trying to put that bar on any other saw, like a Husqvarna or a Shindawa or a Poland, you have to get the chain 2 lengths longer. For whatever reason, the steel mount sets closer to the drive sprocket. Now this saw comes with a 3/8 drive sprocket, so you don't have to modify that. Compare that to like the MS250 steel. It comes with a 325 driver, and you have to change the sprocket out in order to run a smaller bar and chain, or in this case, narrower. Now this is 14 inch. It takes a 52 link chain, whereas the steel would take a 50 link. The saw is a little heavy for what you got, but it is built like a tank. It's got a steel plate back behind the chain cover, whereas like most of the saws are going to be plastic back there. So I mean, everything's well bolted together. I've had it for a couple of years. I've put some hours on it. I haven't put a ton of hours on it. But I feel like this is a saw that's going to last a long time. Cut firewood with it, do a lot of ripping and stuff like that, and yeah, it feels pretty good. Like I said, it's not stupendously powerful for the weight, but it's not bad. It's certainly better than some of the saws out there. The greatest thing about this saw is it's so easy to start. So if you compare this to an MS250, MS250 is hard to pull over. This thing, and it's not an easy to start. It's not that ridiculous setup that they've got where you like pull it, wait 5 seconds, and maybe it'll start. That's the steel. This is just a well, you know, it's got a good ratio for the pull. All right, so here we go. And that was no choke, no nothing, just first pull. If it's super cold out, there is a choke. I hardly ever use it. If it's a cold start, squirt, 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 pull it, it's gonna start. It's just fabulous the way they've got the starting system set up on this. So would I recommend? Absolutely. Compared to, you know, I mean, I am a fan of the MS250, but it has some limitations and drawbacks. This saw solves many of its problems. See, the one thing, the weight, you know, using it all day long, that could get to you. So 250 wins by a little bit there for power to weight ratio. The other thing I really don't like is just this little handle down in here. This is such a minor issue, but it's a little thick, and trying to rotate the saw can kind of get on your wrist. I guess you get used to it, but I'm used to a more slim design down in here where you can roll it just easier. Your hand seems to slide across it better. I mean, for cutting firewood, I guess this is probably a good thing. For carving, not so much, because you're doing a lot of rotation. You know, I kind of like the steel flippy caps, but these work. You have to have a tool or else like pretty strong fingers to pop these caps loose. You do want to make sure that the oil cap's set down fairly tight, because otherwise it vibrates loose and you get oil down your leg. It's only happened once. Said no modifications, so it's still got the spark arrestor screen. Normally all us carvers pull those like day one. And the air filters, it's a little chintzy. I'd almost like to see a better air filter, but it gets the job done, I suppose. I did find some sawdust down inside of it one time. Could have just been because I took a while to clean it. You know, I don't blow them out every time. I know I probably should. It's easy to get to, toolless. You don't have to pop stupid caps off there or anything like that. And yep, there it is. The Makita, or Dolmar, EA4300F. Good saw.